Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Hit that like button as you come in. I did see some people saying that I saw some people saying that they're not getting notifications, so make sure you've hit that bell. You got to hit it like 2 or 3 times in order to get it to work correctly. So if you're having trouble getting notifications, just go ahead and do that. But if it makes any difference, my podcast time generally is 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. That way you can get up, you're working out, you want to listen to it while you're working out. Go ahead and do so. If you're up drinking coffee, you may be doing something in the garage early in the morning. Yeah, however you do it. People got different routines, getting your kids ready for class. That way I can be kind of the first one out the gate. I generally am able to cover things that have just broke that morning. A lot of things break about between 7 and 9 a.m. So we had some news break this morning that is a rumor. I saw it on The Verge. I got an email on this 3 weeks ago, and this was already a rumor. And I'm starting out with it because it's a rumor. But where are my manners? I am Craig, the tech guy. It is Sunday. It is August. Let me look at this, 28th. Hit that like button. My birthday was 5 days ago, and you all missed a good one. We had a good time here. Shout out to everybody that swung through and left a like and share the video. You have permission to share the video. But today, the news that I have seen online is that Xbox is allegedly, and it's a rumor. So I'm getting I'm turning into TCMF Tech and Marlin Gaming Nation. I'm putting my Marlin and TC MF hat on with this rumor about Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, they're going to go to a tier system, and one is going to be like a base system, and the other one is going to be like a family version of it. Again, more details will come out if it's true. It's just a rumor right now. Got to remember, it's just a rumor. So we got to leave it there. But if it's true, then what that would tell me is that in this case between Sony and PlayStation Plus did it right with their tier system. I mean, you can argue what you want to play in these tiers is subjective. Okay, I have said this multiple times. So and it is, and some people are playing nothing. I'm in the highest tier. I'm going into the 3rd month of my highest tier. If they don't offer some kind of discounts being in this tier, which I talked to Sony, I talked to a representative, like no bigwig. I'm like, are you all gonna offer discounts being in this highest tier? And they don't know. So what I am going to do is at the end of this month, which is in 4 days, we want to count the day, I am going to change from the highest tier to the middle tier, which, remember, I told you that was the tier for me. That was the proper tier for me, but I would give the highest tier a chance. So for me personally, the trials and things like that, which I think is a good idea if they're able to get some major people into their trials. They said they would. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they get Skull and Bones into the trial. Maybe they get Hogwarts into the trial. I mean, I'm saying maybe, but if they do, I will reactivate it. It's not that big a deal. But that's kind of the rumor that we're covering right now. So if you want to ask a question, go ahead and make sure if you ask me a question, make sure you put the @ symbol in there. This @Craig, and it'll come up yourself, and then you ask your question. So I did get a question in the last podcast on a comment, and the question is, shout out to Ghost in the Garage Gaming. Go ahead, Ghost in the Garage, and subscribe. Everybody give a round of applause to Ghost in the Garage. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. I did get a question on the last podcast. Let me see if I can find it here. It's from shout out to R6 Steel. He asked this question. He did ask me, if gaming is a privilege, then who is the one controlling that privilege? Voting is a privilege. It is granted to you when you come of age and register. Voting is an ability given to you and controlled by your government. Gaming is not a privilege. Gaming is a hobby anyone can enjoy. There's no entity control who can or cannot participate. Okay, here is my answer. The answer is the fact that it's a privilege means you control it, because it's a privilege. You decide whether you want to participate or not. Companies make devices for you to consume. You have the choice to do that or not. Now, here's my. Gotta remember, I had a 115% in social studies, political science. So, voting in the United States of America is a constitutional right. So, and there's a huge difference between rights and privileges. Too many people think they have the right to do something. Yes, gaming is a hobby. He is correct about that. But you have to pay to play. That makes it a privilege. Okay? It's a hobby. It's a privilege. I have the right to carry a gun. It's the Second Amendment. It's in the United States Constitution. But in order for me to exercise that right, I have to go buy a firearm to participate with that right. If not, I have a right not to carry a firearm as well. Okay? Because I have that right, the privilege given to me is controlled through the state government. I live in Kentucky, so yes, we do a lot of hunt. I have 2 guns and I have a bow. I like to bow hunt because that's more ancestral. I have a fishing spear. I don't have a fishing pole. I have a spear. So again, that's the way I like to go and fish. That's the way my ancestors fished. So it's also much more challenging. I'm like, man, how did they do this? So, but there's a difference between rights and privileges. Different. I mean, you may have a laptop computer that can't play games. That's your right to go out and buy a laptop that does. But you still have to pay for the laptop. I just can't go in, and I said this last week. Microsoft and Sony are $1 billion and $1 trillion companies respectively. Why don't they just give their stuff away? They're worth billions and trillions. But again, they're a for-profit company. Therefore, they're not going to give nothing away. Not that they have to. Not if they get sued and they lose, they'll appeal it. They got all the money in the world. So, but shout out to him. That's a very good question. Gaming. It's a privilege. It's a hobby, but by definition, just because you can't go to the store and say I'm a gamer, I'm going to exercise my my right. Therefore, you must give me free stuff. The price is the price. An attorney named Camila Vasquez got promoted after she won her trial against Amber Heard for her client Johnny Depp. She got promoted to partner in her firm. Therefore, today's price is not yesterday's price. So there's nothing to damage control with Sony raising the price of PlayStation because they raised the price. That's what they did. You either buy it or you don't buy it. I said before, if they did it, it's going to possibly create a surplus, and if they create a surplus, they will then be able to catch up to what? Demand, which is what they want to do. And we'll get more and more into different things as this podcast goes along. But shout out to everybody that's here, all the members that are here. Shout out to Mega Davo, All Gaming. I see you all in the house. So, but with the big story of the week is something that we've covered here for the last I say for the last several months. I'm in Discord, by the way. I am in the Roundtable Podcast public Discord. So if you have access to it, jump on in there and give me your opinion. The big news is not the rumor of the tier system. The big deal is something we've covered here for a while. We did a whole series on it here about the difference between the PlayStation gamers and the PlayStation fanboys, the Ponies. Shout out to Mr. No Cap. He's the one that created the PlayStation Plus podcast. You all have known him as Sickhumortv, as Pim. Mr. No Cap, he's got many aliases. Mr. No Cap just resigned as a member of PlayStation Nation because these dudes are corny as fuck. Okay, they are. They're just corny. And anybody with common sense that actually is just going to the store and buying their games physically, or they're just sitting down in their living room, wherever, their game room, their den, wherever you have your PlayStation at, and are just purchasing the games digitally, they want nothing to do with these clowns. Okay? One of these clowns said, and you remember when I said this one guy said, I am prepared to use what influence I have to prevent Sony from putting games on PC. Even though it was Sony's own developers who were going at the time to Sean Layton was in charge. Sony's own developers were going to them and saying, can we put these games on PC? That way more people can go ahead and play them. And Layton resisted it until I think it was Cory Barlog, the one that created God of War, until Cory Barlog said it had reached a critical mass. And finally, Sean Layton capitulated and said, well, we're not going to do it day and date. We're going to do it. But another reason why they didn't want to do it is they did not have the ability to publish games directly from Sony to PC. So Sony went out during their buying spree. You remember they bought Blue Point. They also bought Housemarque. But the studios you all should have paid the most attention to was Nix's. Because Nix's is directly publishing their games to PC. But it's a direct. So Sony owns Nix's and they own the studio that made the game. So Sony's keeping all that money in-house. They don't have to license it out for somebody else to publish like they did with MLB The Show or Death Stranding. If there's a Death Stranding Part 2 and Sony cuts the same deal with Kojima Productions, so part of Sony's deal, it will be for them to publish that game to PC. Guaranteed. If there's a Death Stranding Part 2. If not, then Kojima, they won't give Kojima the money that he may need. And, they'll give him access to the engine, Decima, but they're not going to give him access to all the money. So, but at the end of the day here, this was major news. Because Sick Humor is, he's a heavy in the community. And he has left PlayStation Nation. And the reason why he left it is because, according to him, he just don't want to be associated with these cornballs anymore. These dudes are having emotional reactions. These dudes are running around saying PlayStation doesn't communicate with us. This whole week, PlayStation released a brand new PlayStation Gamepad Pro, whatever you want to call it, which is hardware, and they put out the news that they will be at Tokyo Gaming Show with more hardware. PlayStation VR 2 will be at Tokyo Gaming Show, and it will be being used for Resident Evil 8 and possibly being used for PlayStation for the Resident Evil 4. It's supposed to have some VR in it as well. So I have to wait and see how that works out, because now you'll start getting actual physical feedback from major publications that got access to it on what you can expect. But yet you still got these bitch ass PlayStation fanboys out here saying that Sony doesn't communicate with us like they a woman. You don't talk to me. How come you don't bring me flowers anymore? And here's the reason why. It's because the global market is in flux. Therefore, how can you come up? You're going to have to be on your feet. You know, you got to bob and weave. You got to stick and move. You know, you can't come up with a long-term plan, unfortunately, while you have a global market that's in flux. You want, these guys want PlayStation to present stability, and the global market is not going to allow that, and they don't understand it, and so they're having all these bullshit emotional reactions. You know, they're not communicating with us. Here's what I know about PlayStation. I know that next year we're getting Hogwarts with extra missions if you buy Hogwarts. I know we're getting Forspoken. I know we're getting Final Fantasy VII Part 2, whatever you want to call it. We're getting Final Fantasy 16. And we're going to be getting DLC from the, you know, on multiple games, including Guerrilla's Horizon Forbidden West. We know that Sony Bend is making a game. We know that Haven Studios, a studio that Sony did buy. Sony has bought like 4 studios in like 20 months, whatever, 17 months. Haven Studios game will be ready for a demo. You're going to get a major announcement from Naughty Dog with some game called Factions. I mean, these are games. How do I know this and the quote PlayStation fans don't know that? How do I know that? Well, because I just play their games. You know, I mean, we had Marlin Gaming Nation rail. This man railed against $70 for what's the name of that game? The Last of Us Part 1. Yet on his last podcast saying I'm buying the game. Well, okay, well, where's your integrity, bro? If you're gonna rail against the game, don't buy the game. Don't buy the damn game. You want to send the message, speak with your wallet. Speak with your wallet. But he can't do that. He does not have that integrity. Again, there's a difference in the fanboys, no integrity, and the actual gamers. The price is the price. Either you pay it or you don't. Nobody got a gun to your head, Marlon, making you play this game. Well, I'm a content creator, therefore I must play the game. But no, you don't. You can say I'm a content creator, but I'm a consumer first. I'm a consumer first. I create content. I'm buying the game because the price is the price. Yeah, that's it. Or I can wait on a sale. So again, where's your integrity at? That's why I unsubbed. All right, so that's why I unsubbed. No integrity. You know, blowing smoke up your ass. Oh, $70. Oh, it's not worth it. But then to turn around and say, oh, well, yeah, you know what? I'm going to buy the game. I mean, come on, man. Come on. So, you know, well, by Sick Humor, shout out to Sick Humor, by him leaving PlayStation Nation, he disassociates himself from him too. That's the difference. That's the difference. So, and that's why I like Sick. That's why I fucks with Sick, because he is more principle driven than you would know. And I like a man that stands on principles, because when you stand on principles, you know the type of man you're dealing with. And you got a lot of people in this space saying that PlayStation took an L because the price went up. How is it an L when the price goes up? Okay, well, how is it an L? Sony raised the price of PlayStation. They dropped the price of their television. So where's the L? But again, to the fanboy, to the ponies, and these guys, I mean, think about these guys. Like I said, these guys are at the party, standing in the corner. They are standing in the corner talking about they got one-man army and called in the B2 and prestige a game or got a platinum trophy, and the rest of the guys are in the back room getting sucked off by the girls. So, I mean, who's winning in this case? You know, I told you all there was a difference between the fanboys who were on some gaydar shit, and I said that they are hobosexuals, all right, and the gamers who are just going to the stores and buying the games. And I told you were going to see a separation of the two this generation, and that's what you're seeing. So who are you going to be with? These sweet, cheap ponies who are crying like women that are blue pill as hell because Sony isn't talking to them because they in bitch mode? Or actual gamers who are just going to go buy and play the games? Now, you got to make the choice is yours. We can do this the easy way, or we're going to do this the hard way. The choice is yours. These guys wanted Sean Layton back. It was Sean Layton who started the transition for Sony to put games on PC. All Jim Ryan is doing is following through with what Sean Layton started. It was Sean Layton who had the idea. He had the idea to look at Sony's intellectual property in gaming and to see if they could be converted to TV shows or movies. That's exactly what they're doing. So they're still doing what Sean Layton wanted. They're executing his plan. Sony made over $1 billion with their Spider-Man movie. They see that and they're like, okay, we can get HBO in on this. HBO is owned by who? Who owns HBO? Does anybody know? Who owns HBO? All right, let me give you a guess. Does Disney own HBO? Does Warner Brothers own HBO? Or does Paramount own HBO? I wonder which one. Oh, it's Warner Brothers. And surprise, surprise, Sony has a deal with Hogwarts, which is Harry Potter, which is owned by, guess who? Warner Brothers. So you have these people moist as hell, and I'm glad that there are smart people breaking away from them. I broke away from them a while ago. I'm like, people are going to figure this out sooner or later, and that's the way they're going to do it. Link is here. Let me see if I can make this work correctly. Okay, try to give me a mic test. I may have the settings wrong because I did a reset. I can hear you. I'm trying to see if they can hear you. I don't know if the rest of the people can hear you. So well, I may have this set wrong. So let's see. Yeah, and Sick is right. Why do you all care so much about what other people are saying? What's the saying? What do they say to Malcolm X? Why does everybody on the outside count? Why does everybody on the outside count? And it's let's see, it says disabled. Let's see if I there. I can hear you, Link, but I don't know if they can. I may have this set up. Look, I had to do a hard system. Go ahead and say something again, Link. You all can't hear him. Okay.
Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you, but you're low.
I'm low.
I am looking. Say something again.
Am I still low?
Yeah, you're still low. I do have it on. I have you on speakers. Coming through my speaker. Odd. All right. They can hear him now. Or now they're saying they can hear you, but you're low. So let me.
I turned my mic up a little bit. Is it any better?
Yeah, hold on. Let me try something else. All right, go ahead, Link. They said that you sound good, so let's try that.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead. You got the floor. I'm trying.
I don't even know. What are we talking about?
Oh yeah, Sick Humor has left PlayStation Nation because they moist as hell. So
well, I don't even know what the PlayStation Nation is anymore. I feel like it's a bunch of guys who either converted from Xbox or have the same type of mentality,
Well, PlayStation
so
Nation.
I don't blame him.
Well, there are a bunch of fanboys that want to go into rooms and argue, And when
Oh,
Sony
is that what they
doesn't
do?
talk to them, they have nothing to talk about. They can't go to XYZ's on Twitter and make an argument. And
Hmm.
I mean, you can see independent analysis. I mean, they don't. I don't get it because independent analysis, Sony is at 21 million, Xbox is at
Right.
13 million. So Xbox is doing everything they can, and they're still getting smashed.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
Jeeves is saying he never heard of PlayStation Nation. Well, look, if you want to call in the B2 and get one man army and prestige stuff, that's PlayStation Nation.
Right.
So that's them. Whereas the gamers are actually, it's okay to not like something, but at some point you're gonna have to get over it. And either shout out to Cardino 89 has subscribed. Appreciate you, brother. But I'm the one who was saying months ago that the gamers were going to separate themselves. Like when you get a black and tan, the beer, Guinness, and Bass, how it separates itself. That's what's happening. And the gamers are just gaming. They're just playing games. Whether they be on the Nintendo Switch or they're on PC or they're on PlayStation, things like that. The fanboys are having these emotional blue pill reactions. I mean, we're seeing, I'm seeing grown men get cramps. So it's
Is this about is this about PlayStation increasing their price?
um
Or
they increased
I
their
mean, is this
price,
part of
but
it?
they everywhere but the Americas, and that's what they
Right.
did.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
um I was shout out to there was somebody who allegedly, because I didn't hear it, said that this is an L for Sony by increasing the price. But Sony decreased the price on their television. Where's the L? So they went up in one thing and they dropped it in something else. That's all business. They're in a global market. It's in flux. Period. I don't care what you make. If you're in an international market, this is not a good time. These economies are under a lot of stress. Interest is up in all countries. They just passed a act to help it in the United States. There's too much money in the friggin' market. They got to get the money out of the market. This could create a surplus, and this is not damage control. This is what happens with interest when you raise interest rates. You're trying to make your money not stretch as long. Have you seen other countries where, like, if you go to Thailand with 100 US dollars, you've got like 3,600 baht. I mean, it's something like that. It's some crazy number. So, but let me ask you, Link. Let me ask you. You said you're not sure who the PlayStation gamers are,
I don't know who
or
they are.
PlayStation Nation is.
There's a lot of yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with the PlayStation Nation.
Well, I mean, what do you mean? You're not sure what's going on? Like, are they just
Well,
are they
it's a
bitching
lot
or
of
what else?
crying and
What do you?
complaining, a lot of crying, complaining. Um,
Like
a lot of
women?
people well, just there's a lot of crying and complaining about what Sony isn't doing, but what they are doing is delivering games, which is the most important thing.
Facts.
So you have games to play. Yeah, every aspect of the business is not perfect. They can improve on a lot of things. This price hike thing doesn't affect us in the US, so I just don't understand all this crying and complaining. And most of the people who are doing all this crying already own a PS5. So I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? Do you really feel that much compassion for these people internationally, these global customers that haven't yet bought a PlayStation? I don't really think they do.
No, because they have other things to do. Like, I mean,
Right.
the fact of the matter is that if I have a choice between buying my medication or buying a PlayStation, it's not close. If I have a choice between putting, my kids are going back to school, they need supplies, or I can get them school supplies, or I can get them a PlayStation. It's not close. I mean, I don't. That's my whole point. Is that
People aren't weighing those two types. People aren't weighing, necessities like actual real life necessities and whether to buy a PlayStation. And if this price hike, you know, in these other markets where the conversion rate and the dollar is right now a lot stronger than some of these other forms of currency. There's, you know, all kind of businesses are impacted by increased costs, manufacturing, supply constraints. There's a lot of things that's just happening globally that are affecting business and consumer goods. So this, Sony had a choice to make a decision about increasing the price in these markets. Analysts have said that this overall really won't have much of an impact on the sales of these consoles. It's really just not a big deal. People were gladly paying $700, $800, $1,000 to scalpers for a PS5.
Those people were nuts. But that's their
I
choice,
didn't
right?
I didn't do it.
But it's their choice.
Retail,
my point to you,
right.
Link, is that it's their choice to make that move because it's their money, right?
Right.
So they can do what they want. You didn't do it. I didn't do it. So I got lucky to get one. Shout out to Emma 17. So I'm lucky to have one. I would have one now because the only way you can get one now, at least that I've seen in my state, I'm in Kentucky, is with a bundle that costs like $560, whether it's I forgot what it was called, the Horizon Forbidden West
bundle.
Yeah,
it's $549.
Yeah, that one.
Direct has been doing a lot of drops. I got one of those bundles to get my second console.
Yeah.
PlayStation Direct is always doing drops. It's much, much easier to get a PlayStation 5 now than it was, say, 6 months ago, a year ago. So,
which has been chronicled. People have chronicled it. It's easier. It's still not as easy as we want it to be, but it's easier than it was. So do you agree with that? It's not as easy as we want it to be, but it's easier than it was.
No, because it's not as easy as we want it to be, but it's getting easier.
Right.
Sony said that they're going to have more supply this year.
Yeah.
And going forward. So, it's I don't know. I think Sick Humor has been surveying the landscape of this PlayStation Nation, and he sees a lot of things that he doesn't like,
Yeah.
And he has the right to step away from it.
Yeah, and I support it. Let me make that clear. I support it 100%. Now, somebody asked if he doesn't care about what people say. How did he put it? He said if he doesn't care about what people say, then why is he stepping away? Because you don't want to be associated with bullshit. You don't. Yeah. You don't want to be associated with bullshit. And I'm all for you exercising your right as consumers, saying that you don't like that the price went up. You have the absolute right to say that. But that's it. It's over at that point. You have the choice to either buy something that's not a necessity.
Right.
It's not a necessity. Right. Like it's toilet paper. Okay? So none of these consoles are necessities. They are just they're hobbies. And I used to build model airplanes back when I was a kid, but as I was 10 years old, the model started going up and I didn't have a job. I was 10. I would ask my mom and dad to buy the model airplane and they would say it's too expensive. They were like, I'm not paying $24 for that or, $29 for that, I'm sorry, but there was nothing I could do, so that the price is the price. Today's price is not yesterday's price. So, again, we're in the what is Discord? We are in the Roundtable Podcast Discord. So if you have a link to that, if you're already part of that, jump on in. J-Wags, if you can jump in, go ahead and jump in, bro. I'd love to hear your opinion. He says now would be a good time to insert an ad. I got an ad on inserting an ad. What is this? Up to Corey Massey says he absolutely supports gamers stepping away from the fanboy nonsense. I do too. I do too. What are you complaining about? I would be complaining about there not being enough stock. I've said that. Like, man, they need to get better at the stock, but Link is correct. They are you can get them easier now. I can walk in and get the Horizon bundle right now. But Monday I might not be able to do that. So Aaron said the Ponies are a garbage community. Yeah, what I paid for a loaf of bread last year, Link, there is not the price today. It is not the price today. So I can
No.
either get upset about it. If I want to eat a sandwich, if I want some sandwiches, I got to pay for the bread. It doesn't
Right.
matter that the price went up. That's what I have to do.
No, Craig. Everything should be free at this point.
That's bullshit.
They don't want to pay for games. They every time there's a $70 game, there's an outrage about it.
Yeah.
I don't. This shit is stupid. It really is. And you know what? The average consumer isn't participating in this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it is. You know, they see something that they see value in it, they'll pick it up.
Correct. And everybody's
That's just it.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
That's how it's always been.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's always been. Not just in gaming.
Yeah, and everybody's value system is different. That's what I've said before. Yeah, people went out and bought the 3080 and 3090 and were paying, 2 stacks. And I'm like,
Right.
I wouldn't pay that much for it, but you have a different value system than I do, and that's fine.
So I read a tweet where someone said, that this price hike is going to only make PC gaming more appealing.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Again, everybody has a different budget for PC. So the answer for me is I don't see it. Again, we won't know for 6 months, right? So my personal opinion is no, because people can't make decisions, meaning that the first thing you have to do when you build a PC is decide where you want to game at. And when I told multiple people, the majority, and you know this, the majority of people on PC are gaming in 1080p. That's the vast majority. And they
so they can max it out.
Yeah. So these people get mad. They got mad. No, they're not. They're gaming in 4K. I'm like, it's less than 8% that game in 4K. It's just, it's too expensive. You're looking at, a $2,000 rig. And that is only if the game is optimized. They may optimize it for NVIDIA and you got an AMD setup and you're waiting months for optimization. Then you'll sit there and these PC gamers will sit out at their screens for hours, tweaking little bitty things so they get the perfect picture, and then that's what they show you. Like, well, this is what it looks like on PC. Yeah, after you sat there for 10 hours,
you messing with all these toggles and sliders and settings and everything instead of just playing the game.
Yeah.
It's just, nothing against PC gaming. I tried it some years back. It wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just ended up not gaming on it like I wanted to. And, the amount of money you got to spend to continue to stay up with the latest technology, if you're that kind of gamer.
Yeah. To
me, I just find console gaming more appealing.
Yeah.
And I just don't think a $30 to $50 price increase on a PlayStation is going to push somebody to go and buy a 3090. Like, I just don't see it.
Yeah, me either.
Those are two different types of consumers.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you have to look at your motherboard. You have to look. I mean, there's a lot of things. You have to look at your power source. You may have all the right equipment and your power source that you're using is not enough, or it may overwork it and your PC's getting too hot. There's a lot of things you all aren't taking into. I'm not saying not to do it. So, I mean, somebody says the Oculus 2 increases price as well. So, yeah, I agree that Oculus went up and people were upset, but they're not talking about it anymore because there's other. Again, you just have to go buy something else, or God forbid, you wait for a sale. Oculus has been on sale. What is it now? Is it Oculus 2? Is it still not? Is it $399 now? So it is what it is. Yeah, Jeeves is saying driver outdated. Yeah, don't get me started on that bullshit. You're constantly getting emails from AMD and NVIDIA to update your computers. So you're constantly updating your computer. Then you have to restart your computer. Then you have to go back in and check your default settings to make sure that your default settings did not turn off. That's reality with PCs. And you accept that as part of being on your PC. You just do. Like Microsoft's Flight Sim, that's an abortion on the console. 30 frames per second on a Flight Sim? That's terrible. I mean, that is terrible. I play Flight Sim. I shouldn't be doing nothing at 30 frames per second on a flight sim. You know, I don't care the screen that I'm looking at. My UI should be 60. So it's crazy. I mean, so did you see this week where Sony announced that PlayStation Pro console or console, the PlayStation Pro gamepad? Link, did you see
Yeah,
that?
I saw it. I saw it.
Okay, and did you also see the PSVR 2 announcement for Tokyo Gaming Show?
I saw that as well. Yes, I did.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
let me ask you your opinion. What is it? What is it with these dudes bitching that Sony isn't talking to them like they're women? It sounds like a woman
Well,
saying
I
to her
think that
husband, "You don't talk to me."
well, as a PlayStation gamer, longtime PlayStation gamer,
Hmm?
we're probably used to knowing over the next 2 years what exclusive games we got to look forward to. PlayStation's being a little bit more they're keeping the information a little bit close to the chest as far as before they decide to reveal stuff.
Mhm.
They a lot of these trade shows they're not attending, so I get people's concern, but I do trust Sony to deliver um, great games, good hardware, peripherals, all the stuff that makes me a PlayStation gamer. So although I would like to know what's in the pipeline, I'm not necessarily entitled to it because I don't own this company. I don't run it. You know, um, all this whining and complaining is just, you know, I don't get it. Like, whereas over there with Microsoft, we don't. I mean, they're not delivering games. You know, but I don't feel like the same energy is being kept. Because Sony, like what I'm saying is like basically there's a lot of complaining, but do we really have the right to do all the complaining? I don't think so because they've been delivering.
Well, I think
You
you
know,
said the right word with entitlement.
yeah,
That's what you're
yeah,
dealing with is a group of people that feels entitled to
right.
information, and you've never been. I thought Sony was. I mean, to me, I still don't see what they've changed. I named a bunch of games that are coming next year that'll be on PlayStation. If you're saying, well, their first party studios are being more tight-lipped,
Are
that is. Oh, but they've delivered games this year. Naughty Dog
oh,
is
absolutely.
delivering a game this year. Gorilla delivered a game this year. Uh, Sony's at Santa Monica that does God of War. They're
Big,
delivering a game this year. So,
right?
MLB The Show is made by Sony San Diego. They delivered a game this year. The Poly, whatever they're called, that makes GT7.
Polyphony
Yeah,
Digital.
Yeah, they delivered a game this year. So that is about 1/4 of their studios. So they have delivered, and Insomniac delivered 2 games. If you want to, 2 games, Miles Morales and Ratchet and Clank. So that is about that is a lot of studios in the first 2 years of this. Not to mention they cut deals for Sifu. They cut deals to get Kana Bridge of Spirits. I mean, we can move on.
You
They
can go
just
down the list.
yeah. So what exactly? Who is left to talk? The people who did Sucker Punch did a Ghost of Tsushima update for the PS5, full update. So Kojima Productions did an update for PS5. Which is not a first party, I know, but I'm just saying they have. You said they delivered on the game, so what else is there? If you bought, now don't get me wrong, did you buy it to play movies, and which is fine. I've watched some movies in my PS5. So, but if they are delivering games, which you did say, and you're right about, so what else is there?
Hmm. I don't know.
I agree. I don't know what else is left except a group of people who are mad that they can't go online and console war. And if
Maybe
you
they want to sit and eat with what's his name, Jim Ryan, like people do with Phil Spencer.
right,
Maybe they want to go to rooftop parties with Phil or Jim Ryan. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
don't know. I don't get it.
yeah. Well, I mean, to me, it is. I do think there's been some infiltration. I think there's some guys in the that were in the play. There were Xbox guys that are now in the PlayStation community. And they're causing a bunch of ruckus. But um, but these guys, I mean, I don't understand what you're arguing about. Tim Dog yesterday was still talking about resolution, not games, not when the next game is coming out. Resolution, and and he was defending 1080p resolution on Forza. So I mean, just a year ago he defended that shit. So, so they're not talking about games. I've not seen any Xbox person talk about games at all. So it is. Sony sits down with Apple, and it's like, well, Apple's going to buy Sony. No, they're not. No, they're not. Apple, however, does want Apple. They wanted a native app on the PlayStation, and they negotiated that, and that's what they do. I mean, I don't get this at all. Corey Massey says, we know why people are upset about Sony not outlining their game lineup. People need ammo for the console. Yeah, that's what I truly believe. I agree 100%. Link, what do you think about that?
So, wait, what was the question again?
Shout out to Corey Massey. He says that people are upset. The main reason I will say people are upset about Sony not putting out what their lineup, like you were talking about before, is so that because they can't go in console war. Because when you build your house,
what it is. They need ammo. Yeah.
Yeah. When you build your house on bullshit, you need more bullshit to keep your house. And that's what these guys built their console thing on. I mean, it's built on bullshit. The console war is bullshit. It's never a war because Sony always wins because they have a bigger name brand. That will never change. I mean, that will never change. So there will never be a console war. Microsoft, I thought did well with their original Xbox. I thought they did real well with the 360, getting deals and things like that. They were actually competing, but when Peter Moore and those guys left, they stopped. They stopped competing. When Phil Spencer and all those guys came in, Matt Booty, Aaron, whatever his name, Aaron Greenberg, they're not competing. They're actually changing the way you consume the media by going to a quantity, not quality approach, which that's always been Microsoft's approach. That's their DNA, to flood the market with a bunch of bullshit and then throw in some games because I think Hellblade Part 2 will be quality. Why? Because the first one was quality. So there's no reason for me not to believe that the Hellblade 2 won't be quality, but that's it. We've seen Starfield, and I play games like Starfield Link. That game looked like straight trash. I mean, it is No Man's Sky and Mass Effect Andromeda combined. That's what Starfield is. So, yeah. But do you think Sony's done a good job with third-party deals this generation so far? What do you think about their third-party deals? All right, so I'll say from what I've seen with their third-party deals, Seafood, people enjoyed it. In a Bridge of Spirits, people enjoyed it. That studio gave us a free upgrade with it. That Food says he'd rather have that surprise moment like Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine were real. PlayStation fanboys just won't list the wars. Yeah, that's a good point, too. I was surprised about Spider-Man 2, and I was shocked with Wolverine. I mean, shocked. Xbox fanboy. Yeah, Xbox, they don't have no games. I mean, guys, when they canceled Starfield this year, that decimated the Xbox community. It decimated the community. Hit the like button, people. I'll start singing Fleetwood Mac. I swear to God I will. So, after the list of Xbox games looks super mid outside of a few. Well, again, I think Hellblade 2 is legit because Hellblade 1 was a good quality game. So there's no reason to think Hellblade 2 won't be, right? But and I think their Forza Motorsports game, that's a fun game if you like driving. I think it would be better if they offered VR. That's just my opinion. I'm sure Sonny and VR and Lincoln Clay agree with me, however, and so does J-Dub City. That game would be a lot more immersive if they had a VR system with Xbox that they, even if they said on PC will support VR or track IR or something like that. So I think Sony does need to try to get X-Plane, the game, to compete with. If X-Plane is a better flight sim game than Microsoft's flight sim. However, Microsoft, this new flight sim game they just did, it really kicked X-Plane in the nuts. So X-Plane is coming out, I think, at the end of next month, or it's coming out pretty soon. So I think Sony needs to look at getting something like that on their console. Do I think it's a deal breaker? No. So, you know, Stray was a great third party. Yeah, so Stray is in there too. So I agree with Sick Humor leaving PlayStation Nation because these dudes are moist as hell. Again, these are the guys that are getting one man army and they're going online and showing their trophies. And I mean, these guys demanded that the guy Zubitech, the guy, all he does is put information out, right, on Twitter. They demanded to see his trophy score. And because he wouldn't show it, because that's a bitch move to even ask that, they were like, he gets an L. You know? I mean, it is crazy. What's up, Jamie UK? Half-Life Alex has to be on PSVR. We'll find out. I know that's a benchmark game, though. Link is available. Link, are you still available, or are you getting Jason Voorhees, like, got you pinned down? What is going on? Anyway, he stepped away, I guess. So, but now I'm coming back over here. So again, the breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, is that Sick Humor has left PlayStation Nation, the creator of PlayStation Plus podcast. He has left PlayStation Nation because of the moisture of PlayStation Nation. Like, I'm talking about, you got to get that sponge that's not in aisle 4 to how moist these guys are. You got to go back to automotive and get the sponge back there, that big old fat sponge that your mom has, you know, that's underneath the cabinet that you don't touch. You don't touch that sponge, right? That's how moist these guys are. I mean, they got to butter, they will butter their hips and put their clothes on. They so moist, and it's just nasty moist, okay? I'm talking about Jergens lotion can't cure their moisture. So just crying, and they don't talk to me. They don't talk to me no more. Oh, Sony, I need some. I mean, that's what they sound like. You know, that's what they sound like. And I'm more mad. I'm more mad at the people that listen to them than anything. I'm like, why are you all listening to these dudes? You know, why? You know, I mean, I know I can see if a woman is mad at her man because he don't talk to her. You need to talk to me. Use your words. You know how women are. That's what these guys sound like. You know, well, they need to give me some more information. They need to go ahead and do this. They need to give me some more information up here. If I'm wrong, the Discord is open. Come in here and get your cheeks clapped. It's Sunday, which means it's meet the press. So you come in here and I will press your cheeks. I mean, that's what I'll do. Because you're out here on bullshit. And I am glad that there are other people seeing it and walking away. You know, I mean, literally, you know, Sony shouldn't follow what their developers want. You know, developers want to put games on PC. I'm like, well, all right, let's see how that goes. But then when you look at it as far as a fanboy, you get mad. It's a business. I mean, like if my IP is just sitting here in your warehouse, I don't know, if I have ice cream sitting in the freezer and then somebody comes along and says, well, those stores over there don't have your ice cream. Put your ice cream in that store. I'm like, well, man, this ice cream's been in the freezer for 3 years. You know, they got mad at Spider-Man. Spider-Man came out in 2018. 2018. So, I mean, it's 2022. I mean, it's just sitting there. The Last of Us are like, well, The Last of Us is going to go to PC. You're right. Which means, and I'm going to tell you right now, and you better brace for this announcement. All right? Brace yourselves for the PlayStation Nation. The Last of Us Part 2 will also go to PC. But before it does, you know what Sony's going to do? They're going to go to Naughty Dog and they're going to shake hands. They're going to sit down with Naughty Dog, and Neil Druckmann is going to say, we want to do a remaster of The Last of Us Part 2 for PlayStation 5. And they're going to say, yep, do it. And guess how much it's going to cost? $70. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to cry. You're going to whine. You're going to throw your hands up in the air. And you are going to then say, I can't believe Sony is charging $70. This makes no sense. I can't believe it. And then when the game comes out, your bitch sorry ass is going to go ahead and buy it. That's what you're going to do. Just like a good little boy. Because you don't have the ability, you don't have the balls to sit up there and say what you can say a whole bunch of bullshit, but you ain't got the balls to follow through. You don't. You don't have the balls to follow. And Sony knows you don't have the balls to follow through. And again, I know you don't, and so they know you don't. So since you know that, and I know that, why are you complaining? You're complaining about nothing. You complain about $70 games, and your bitch ass is going to go buy The Last of Us Part 1 because now you're seeing 4 screenshots, and you can clearly see there's a huge difference in what they did. I mean, everybody sees it. Even my girl was like, that looks totally different. Yeah, it does. You're going to take advantage of the 3D sound. You want to take advantage of the haptic feedback. That's what you want. And you don't want to be missing out. And we all know that. So you all just can't win. So toodles. Toodles. Drago in the house says Rockstar's the same way. That's why things won't change, because people won't stop buying shark cards. I guess I don't know what a shark card is, but apparently Grand Theft Auto has made Tree Fitty. I mean, it has made Tree Fitty. And they went back, and Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on the 360 PS3 generation, and here we are, we've had the Xbox One and the PS4 come out. Then we had the PS5 come out, and they're still making Grand Theft Auto 5. And it's like one of the biggest selling games of all time. So, that food says he's against day and date on PC. Okay, well, guess what? Sony's not doing day and date. They have said it to their shareholders.
I don't fuck with that PC shit. I don't support it. I don't agree with it. But
okay.
I don't want PlayStation putting their exclusive over there, but that's what they want to do. So I mean, I understand the business strategy as far as putting old games over there that aren't generating any more revenue. I get it. I mean, but I mean, as long as their developers continue to focus on making stuff for the PS5 and they just keep porting shit over later, I can stomach it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, nothing you can do about it. I mean, if you understand the business side of it, they're a for-profit company.
Well, a lot of people are looking at this, right? This is true. That's true, Craig. Let's see, a lot of people looking at this the wrong way. Some people are telling me, wait, but what they're going to do, right? Mm-hmm. They put Spider-Man 2018 on the PC.
Right.
And then guess what? These PC guys go out and buy a PS5 for Spider-Man 2.
Right.
Right?
Maybe.
No, that's not what's going to happen. There's a few of them that will, okay? But your guy Sean Layden said it like this. We got this wall garden, which is the PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
We got these PC players that want to play these games, but they don't want to buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
He said, so we are taking our products to them because they're not coming to us. So these PC guys will wait for these ports. And that's just what it is. Most of them are not interested in playing on PlayStation. And they'll just wait for Sony to port these games over later. And that's just how it's going to be. It's a business strategy. I get it. They're a business. Mm-hmm. As long as we're not getting broken games because they're trying to make it for the PC and 1,400 different 1,400 different graphics card configurations and CPUs and RAM and all this shit, and then we're getting fucked up games on the console side of it, that's when I'm going to have an issue. But as long as they're doing this where they're just porting these games later, it's okay.
Yeah, and this is after they've come out People have bought them. They've put them onto
Mm-hmm.
their network, okay,
Mm-hmm.
for people to download.
Right.
It's running. They put them on sale digitally
Right.
and in the store physically. You're looking at about a 17 to 22 month transition, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where you're at now. People can run to what about Days Gone? Okay, Days Gone sold over 9 million, close to 10 million copies. That includes, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, that includes PC. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that is what Sony wants. But I don't. They're not going to do day and date. That will adversely affect their console sales. It will. That would affect it. So, um, now I mean that I shouldn't speak for them. I'll simply say what they've told their shareholders. So, this year. Now that could change next year because they'll come in and they'll have a different major shareholders meeting. So, but they are. I mean, I've been told by multiple people they are disappointed with the sales of Spider-Man on PC, even though it's straight profit. They were expecting more. They were expecting more. So, somebody's places a disciple says crazy. They complain about $70 games and spend money on bullshit all the time. Yeah, I mean a bunch of headsets and they go out buy a bunch of headsets and they buy a bunch of controllers, but the things that you that are those are peripheral. The main thing they're there to support are the games. Yeah, the games are going to cost more money too. So
Right. I mean, $70 is the retail price for a game. I don't see the issue with it. At some point, there's always increases to the retail price of these games. Um, we were paying way more than that back in the day for games on
yeah.
Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
Oh, I remember.
Way more.
Yes,
So,
yes, sir. And the Neo Geo, probably
you know what it is,
129.
I think maybe it's a bunch of these subscription service gamers, right? That just want everything to be in a service, right?
Hmm?
For one set low price. But you got to pay for quality. If you want quality, you got to pay for it.
I agree.
If you want these big budget AAA games, you have to pay for them. That's what Sony is telling you. We spend hundreds of millions of dollars on these games, and they are not just be thrown into a service where we're going to lose a shit ton of money. That's not how you run a business.
I agree. I don't disagree with you at
They're
all.
like, they're making record profits. Yeah, these are for-profit businesses. That is what they're there to do, make money.
Yep. They provide a service. The service they provide is allowing you to go consume their product.
Right.
I know one AAA game they did put on the PlayStation 5. I don't know if you remember, was Control. The limited.
Yeah, but that was a re-release though.
Yeah, it was like the special edition or something like that. So,
right.
I mean, but that was like you said, it's a re-release.
Right.
So.
They didn't debut.
Yeah.
They didn't debut in that service. I mean, I'm pretty sure Remedy would have liked to just rack up whatever money they could make at retail, and then after that, that's what they did. They remastered the game and they put it on PS5, and
And
but I just
gamer. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Man.
No. Like, yeah, man. Like I'll participate in the console war shit sometimes. It's fun sometimes, but like some of these guys don't take a fucking break from this shit. They just they live, sleep, eat, breathe console war. Like I don't get it.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Just sick.
And now that they're running, like you said yourself, they running out of quote unquote ammo. Now you built your house on this bullshit. They're getting more and more upset with Sony because Sony's not giving them what they need to refill their quote unquote their console war. You're right. I agree 100%. With what you're saying. So I don't know what they're going to do. That's why I said before that they're going to have to create different kind of content, and they don't know how to do that. They obviously don't know how to do it.
What, you talking about these console warriors?
Yeah, they'll be coming on later on today.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I'm not trying to throw none of these dudes under the bus, but like, God, man, it's just too much. Like sometimes I would just scroll down my timeline and it's constant tweets of this stupid shit. Like, You know, whether you like PlayStation or Xbox, it don't matter. It's like, I mean, if you're an Xbox fan right now, you really have nothing to really brag about.
Yeah.
You have no games. So, you know, I guess they're in love with this service that's delivering them subpar games, but
Yeah,
like
well, that
Peppa
game where that
Pig and
white kid
Paw
talks to
Patrol.
those rats, that's supposed to be coming to Game Pass. And
Oh,
you know,
Plague's Tale.
yeah,
Yeah, I played the first one for about 30 minutes. Not for me, but you know, this is not a game that really it should be spotlighted. Because, well, I mean, I guess you have to do that when your
yeah,
first party isn't putting anything out. So
yeah. And Lies, was it Lies of P? Lies
Lies
of
of
the
P.
P? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean,
Right.
again, I don't think, but that's a double A game. I mean, when I looked
Right,
into
right.
it, double A game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be picking it up on PlayStation. I'll be purchasing that game. I would not be renting it.
Yeah.
But you know, these guys are happy with just giving Microsoft money every month for whether they're gonna play something on that service or not.
Yeah. Which they're paying them for that service. If you're paying $10 a month, you're paying them $120 a year not to own something. That's
Right.
what you're paying them. And to me
Mm-hmm.
personally, as somebody, and I'm a physical, like I said on my last podcast, I'm a physical guy. I like physical stuff, but
Me
I've
too.
accepted. We've got to accept that we are now the minority, and we're gonna have to make the adjust. Like I was saying on my last podcast, I may have to go out and get get a 1 terabyte, whatever this thing is, or an
I'll be
external
back.
drive, yeah, to start storing games. That's just a reality. Now it won't hit me till next year, but at least I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna be screaming about it. I understand. The pandemic, more people got um comfortable putting their credit card online and and buying things digitally, whether it was through Amazon or eBay, whatever. And that's the reality that we that somebody like me has got to make the adjustment. I can rail against it all I want, but that's not going to change the reality. You know what I'm saying? So somebody said, "What if they think PC will subscribe to their service due to cost plan?" Again, PlayStation is going to have their own PC launcher, and they are going to put games in their PC launcher that are PS2 and PS3 games that will be able to be played natively through that launcher. If you're going to be paying for it, they're not stupid. They're going to do something similar to PC Game Pass, but they're going to always have more games. So all these people who are saying, "Well, I can't play PS3 games natively," yeah, it's a different architecture. You all are supposed to know that. It's a cell architecture does not match what they got. They got what, x86, totally different. So it's not going to work. So, but it's all this kind of other stuff. But Link, I really wanted your opinion before we kind of wrap it up here. What is your opinion on this whole Call of Duty thing that's going on? Or do you have an opinion on it? Oh, he bounced. All right, well, Link bounced. So shout out to Link for coming through. So yeah, so shout out to Link coming through. Let's see here what you all are talking about. So understand that if you have Game Pass and you're paying $9 a month, you're paying $120 a year for not own anything. So that's reality. I'm not running it into the ground. That's not going to change the reality. What's up, Harry Tran? So, The Last of Us remake should be on PS1. And you said that you have the remaster already played out when he got mad and blah. Yeah, the Last of Us. If you want to play The Last of Us and it be on your service, you have the remaster on PS5. You can play the remaster, and it's there. You can download it if you want, and you can play it right now. You can play it right now. So, was I gonna say you own all your games on Xbox? Well, that's fine. You're in the minority then. So you are in the minority. So, and then do you have Game Pass? If you're gonna buy the games, you don't need Game Pass. A friend of mine, he buys his Xbox games. He doesn't have Game Pass. So, he is linked up and he gets all these things. Game Pass for $1. Game Pass for $1. So, so let's see here. Yeah, Chat Food Spider-Man shouldn't bother anyone. That shit is on PS Plus. He's right about that. PC players paying $50 for an old port. I agree 100%. Even if they mod it, they still had to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So I've canceled my PC Game Pass for now. There's nothing on there until I get Starfield and Hellblade and Forza and all that kind of stuff. So when that comes, I will reactivate Game Pass. It's that simple for me. So Frank B1 says PS4 Online is free today, and he got his butt kicked in Street Fighter 5. So here. So I don't think you all were saying any much more. You Paul Game, he thought Martin was an insider. Obviously, I guess not. I mean, I don't know how that works. So I believe I have some insiders, but they're in more the movie industry, and because there is some overlap between the movie studios and like Anna Pereira, the people that made Stray, they make movies. Sony is now making The Last of Us. Sony makes movies as well. So some of this stuff does overlap, you know. So and another friend of mine's son works for a company that works for Marvel with their effects. And so he told me about She-Hulk, the effect they use. He's the one that gave me the code for She-Hulk, the first 3 or 4 episodes. So, and again, I've watched the first 3. I haven't watched the first 4. I thought that She-Hulk so far has been fun to watch. I think the shows need to be longer. I think the shows need to be 36 minutes, not 25. So, let's see here. Who does Sony? Sony's not doing day and date, but through their PC launcher, they will eventually you'll be able to put your trophies over there if you're a trophy guy. Again, I'm not, so but that is part of them putting their games on the PC launcher. So yes, it is. So argument against digital ownership is based on people's ignorance of their own digital rights. That could be part of it, Corey. I mean, that's it wouldn't shock me if that's part of it. So is not Xbox. PC is not anyone's set platform. It's on Animal. It is individual. Yeah, and simply Microsoft makes a launcher that's on PC. That's the truth. It's for Ultimate Pass, which is PC Game Pass, whatever you want to call it. It's a different price. You know, that is a different price. So, and like I said, in today's price may not be tomorrow's price. That's just reality. You know what I'm saying? You can get Game Pass for $1 for 30 days, give or take, but they will alert you on an email that your Game Pass price is going to go up. All right? Your Game Pass price is going to go up to $9.99 on umpteenth day because today's price is not tomorrow's price. You know, you did. So that's why I think that rumor about them having a tier system, it makes some sense that you create a lower tier system that's going to be, I don't know, $4.99, and then the people who are paying the higher tier, they get access to different stuff. They may get, and this is what I mean. Again, if Microsoft says we're going to do a higher tier, but in that higher tier you'll get game discounts and stuff like that for the people who want to buy, Sony is going to have to follow suit and say, yes, if you get our premium tier, then we will give you, I don't know, 10% off your next purchase, your next digital purchase, or download this code and you can take this code and, you know, one of those things, you know, you download the code and then you go ahead and you take it to the store and you get 5% off your next purchase. Or if you buy Sony speakers, you'll get 20% off. They're going to have to do something like that. Again, this is just, I think this is what they will end up doing. So because I own a PC, I do need to get a new CPU. So I'm looking at the 5500X or 5500G AMD for I have a 470X motherboard. So that's what I'm looking for. So That is me though. Everybody's different. It's okay. Like I said, today's price ain't tomorrow's price. So copies because he has a large following. Applies for review copies. Apply for review copy. Oh, okay. Well, no, like I said, I'm buying the game. I won't be able to pick mine up till Saturday. However, I will not be able to pick up my game until Saturday. That's my reality. So I didn't buy it digitally, and that is one thing that I people who are buying games digitally, they can go ahead and boom, Friday morning at whatever 3 o'clock in the morning, you'll be able to play the game, right? But you don't get, and that's one of the advantages of playing physical versus like me or playing digital. The physical, my advantage is I can buy my game and then I can go trade my game in and get $25 to $30 off. So, but I will be buying the game. So, I predict the industry is going the service route. No, not for a while. I think there's going to be some people trying to split the difference. Like I said, I think Sony does a PC launcher. I think within their PC launcher, they go ahead and they say this is going to be part of Plus, and for people like me who have a PS5 and I will get their launcher, they may put some stuff in their launcher day one. But I think my main advantage of having the PC launcher will be I can play PS3 games natively. So, which again, they've remastered all the really good ones, right? So, I mean, what am I gonna, and they're gonna remake SOCOM. If you don't know that, they're redoing it. And maybe VR games. There'll be some VR games that are on the PC launcher that won't be on. I mean, it'll be on PlayStation as well. So it is what it is. But I don't think they're going the service route. I think this is one of the things that Sick Humor left PlayStation Nation for, is you guys are arguing, because again, the PlayStation community's whole argument is against physical media because Microsoft is getting out. King Thrash did a video. He just did a video about how Microsoft plans on getting out of the physical market. So, and I implore you all to watch that video. He makes a lot of good points. Like I said before, people can mock King Thrash all they want. That man's business, his business acumen is extremely acute and high. And he is spot on. We've been telling you guys that. I've been saying it too. But yeah, they're getting out of the physical market, and their subscription service is what they want. This is how they're going to do it. Netflix of gaming. Netflix is on all TVs. It's on phones. It's on tablets. Sony makes phones. You are going to Xperia. All right. I don't think they make tablets anymore. Or maybe they do. I don't know. They make television sets. They have a peripheral device. They have Blu-rays. All right. They have a PlayStation. Microsoft wants Game Pass on everything. Remember, they got into that fight with Apple, wanting to put stuff on Apple's phones, and Apple was fighting them in court. Like, we don't want this on our phone. So it is what it is. But Microsoft leveraged owning like 20 or 30% of Apple. So, let's see here. Yeah, physical. I mean, they both have their advantages. So, and but also, we're not stupid. We can clearly see there's been a shift to digital. So people like me, I can complain about it and whine and bitch and moan and boo-hoo, or I have to make the adjustment and maybe look at getting an external drive, where I can start storing more games. And because that's simple. That's, I can get a USB-C drive and store more games, and that's fine. I mean, I'd rather not have to do that, but I will. So, yeah. He says Apple sucks. Well, Apple is about quality. So if you want high quality, Apple is your girl. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Apple's your girl. And Apple doesn't care that they're more expensive because they're going to say we're worth it. And Apple seems to be doing fine. Forgot what their cap is right now. hold on. Maybe my Alexa. What is Apple Corporation app right now? Oh, there you go. So I think Apple's. Thank you, Alexa. Apple's doing fine. So let's see here. Let's, well, I mean, digital ownership until Sony maybe through their launcher can say, okay, but I don't know how that would work. Can you trade in your games digitally? I don't think you can. If somebody sets up a way to do that, then yeah, then physical market gonna die quick. It'll die quick. So um, let's see here. Digital market should have some type of discount. Well, that's what I'm thinking is that I'm thinking with Game Pass, if they go to a tier system, that they will offer discounts on their highest tier. So that could be, you have our highest tier, you get 10% off your next purchase, and or 5%, whatever, 20% off Microsoft stuff, because Microsoft makes tablets and stuff like that. They could say we'll give you 20% off. We will give you a discount code, and you use this code when you go to our digital store, because Microsoft has their digital store that has their stuff on it, right? You put this code in for redeem, and you get 20% off any purchase off worth any. You spend up to $400, we'll give you 20% off. That's what I hope Sony will go to. Let me make this clear. That's what I hope. That doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and rail and say, Sony has got to do this. Sony has got to do something. Sony has got to, no, they don't. I mean, they don't have to do it. I would like to see them, if I'm going to pay for this service that I'm paying for, I would like to maybe use it for discount, stuff like that. That's just me, though. I'm just trying to be a little more practical there. So, but it doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and rail against it. They give discounts on games, and discount is there for plus minimum. Yeah, I agree. But if I'm in the highest tier, I want a higher discount. So that's all I'm saying. I'm gonna be in the highest tier. I want the highest discount. So, read that one. PC gamer debating to buy the game or pay for the service is a win-win for Sony. Well, again, it's just another revenue stream. I mean, even them making the TV shows is creating another revenue stream. Whether you all, I don't think you all understand that, though. It's just they're creating more revenue streams based on already owned intellectual property. So, and that's what, like Link was saying, it's a for-profit company. That's what they're supposed to do. So, and people are feeling like, well, they're making all these TV shows about the games, but then as Link laid out, and so did Sick Humor, they've released Returnal, they've released Demon Souls, they've released, all these games. I'm looking Ghost of Tsushima, Ratchet and Clank, Gran Turismo. I mean, I can go on and on and on. So, but these guys are constantly on Twitter every day telling you how much better this subscription service is that Microsoft has, and you guys are arguing with them. That's a big effing problem, people. Stop arguing with them. Like I said, Tim Dog yesterday was still talking about resolution of some game that came out and sold better on PlayStation. Now we have this patch and now it looks better. I'm like, well, so what? So what? It sold more on PlayStation. So, I can sell that hard drive. Oh, that's true too, but that's a couple of extra steps. You're right. Yeah, if people don't know that, if you buy a Blu-ray, like a 4K Blu-ray movie, it comes with a code that you can watch it on your PC. And a lot of people do that. A friend of mine whose daughter went to college, she just went off to Boston University. She did that. She downloaded like 300 movies to watch on her laptop, so yeah, you're right. I agree with you on that. A lot of people don't do that though, but yeah, a lot of college students, hey, you're You ain't got a ton of money. You're studying. You want to take a study break. Well, I'm going to watch, I don't know. I'm going to watch Tenet. You know, I'm going to watch Jurassic Park. So let's see. Yeah, you guys have got to start asking more of yourself. Yeah, Corey Massey's the FOMO, fear of missing out, is real. So, yeah, get to the chopper. That's what Sick did. He got to the chopper. Shout out to Sick Humor, getting to the chopper. It's just everybody's tired of these fanboys and their bullshit. So, but when you got people say, I was in the, I don't know, what are the name of those rooms? You know, I was in those rooms and people were tearing PlayStation 3 down. I was in there defending it, and they Sony needs to be doing this. Man, shut your ass up. Now, maybe if you got some pussy, you wouldn't be acting like this. So, I read that one from Aaron. Venezuela, 100K, get you 4,000 square foot beachside house with full staff and security. Oh, well, I didn't know that. There you go. How does the Sony increase in the price of PS5 in Sri Lanka affect you? It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't mean they won't raise the price to PS5 in the United States. It just means that it doesn't affect you right now. So I think that's what's up, Compost Smurf. How you doing? So, how you doing? So, so, let's see here. Well, again, Paul Game says he's never leaving PlayStation. Sick Humor didn't leave PlayStation. He left PlayStation Nation, the fanboys. He left that. You know, he's not going to associate with that. Why did he leave? Because nobody with common sense wants to associate themselves with a bunch of bullshit coming out of these guys' mouths. They don't. So, let's see, multiplayer game. Chat Food says multiplayer games are getting bad in general. Last Battlefield that hit for you was 4. Battlefield 1 was okay. Yeah, again, I never have played any. The last time I played online, I can't remember. You know, the last time I played with other people online, I don't recall. So, but that was something that we were doing in the 90s. We were playing Ghost Recon and Descent and Forsaken. All that, Diablo, all that was PC online. So if I'm going to play online, I'm going to play on PC because that's where it was born. So that's where it was born. So, but there's nothing wrong with playing games online. Let me make that clear. It's just not something I really do. Not something I really do. But guys, let me go ahead and I'm gonna jump on off here. So after 11, I want to give a big shout out to Link for jumping on. Definitely appreciated his opinion on things. Definitely appreciate you, Link. That from Discord. So yeah, now that I've got that set up, I'll just leave that open. So the next time I podcast, I'll jump into either the roundtable, probably the roundtable Discord, because I think there's a lot of people in there. So, or I think the other day he was in Sick Humor was in the Speak from the Heart one. So come through on your podcast. You have to leave me a link and I will come through on your podcast. Okay. So just leave it for me. I'll be happy to come on your podcast. I'm off today. I'm waiting for these NFL teams to start cutting players. Tomorrow is cut down day. Tomorrow's cut. I mean, they're cutting players right now. Your favorite NFL team is cutting players right now. All right, they're getting those phone. Remember, they get those phone calls at 8 o'clock in the morning on whether they made the team or they're going to be put on waivers. You know, so that they're getting those calls right now. So, all right, I will get on off here. I do appreciate you all coming through. Let's play some music and get on up out of here. I appreciate everybody coming. Leave a like, leave a share. Again, Sick Humor, the creator of the PlayStation Plus podcast, has quit PlayStation Nation because of the moisture of these fruit booties. So, I will talk to you all later. Peace.